Let's go full screen. Beautiful, beautiful. We increased the resolution in the last live stream, so this looks so much better. We got a fully graphical boot now, thanks to Plymouth. In future episodes, we will theme all this to the absolute max, so it should be, even cooler. That's the beauty of Linux and especially Gentoo. It's highly, highly customizable. We got our XFCE desktop environment here. Um, there's one thing that I absolutely have to do first is I have to enable the the quick key for firing up the launcher here. Honestly, like I don't like having to go down here and click this. It's fine for now, I guess, but there should be a way to bind this program, App Launcher, to a hotkey. So that's probably the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm so used to the way I had XFCE configured. Let's see here. What is it? It's App Finder. Yep, that's the application. We want to bind to a hotkey here. So XFCE4. There we go. Here we go. So we can launch the mail reader, the terminal emulator. Gosh, I can't talk. Web browser. Shortcut is www. Control Alt T. Orca. Here we go. App Finder. Alt F3. So if I hit Alt F3 here, boom, there's the App Finder. Okay, I want to change that to super S. Oh, that's even better. That's gorgeous. Well, that's gorgeous. Let's reset to default. Maybe for command. Super S. Looks just like super R. Anywho, guys, if you want to bind some applications to hotkeys, that's how you do it. That's how you do it right there. So I can do this. I can do super S, and I can find, terminal, XFCE4 terminal. Boom, it pops open right there, and we're rocking and rolling. We can even bind terminal. So anyways, what did I do? I went to settings, I went to keyboard. There's application shortcuts in here. One thing I like to do is hold Alt and then hold right click, and you can resize your windows just like that. Just like that. So launch terminal emulator is Control Alt T. Let's bind this to super T. There we go. So now I can just do super T. Boom, there's my terminal. I can do super S, type in Google, fire that. Oh, that did not work. That did not work. What if I do this and just delete this? Oh, yeah, here we go. Opening up my keyring, and boom, we're in. All right, well, not by default. That's another thing you can configure over here in XFCE. So again, I just caught myself doing it, but just a reminder, you can hold Alt and then hold right click to resize your windows. You can also hold Alt and hold left click to drag your windows around. You don't have to go all the way up to the top bar here to drag your windows around. You can hold Alt and click on anywhere in the window to do that. So that's super handy, like that. Okay, so we need to get some additional applications installed. Just to double check, do we have Mousepad? Yes. Okay, so Mousepad, great text editor, super handy, saves your state, right? I can close this. I can say don't save, and then I think I can fire up Mousepad again. And no, it doesn't. So FYI, when it crashes, or let's see if we can get this work. So if say I do Mousepad here, and I type some stuff in here, I hit enter a few times, and then over here, like I crashed the application. Uh-oh. If I fire mousepad back up, it'll say, it seems the previous session did not end normally. Do you want to restore the available data? Yes. So if you have your mousepad open and you're working in it, you know, taking some notes or, you know, saving some of your clipboard or whatever, and you move it to another workspace, for example, like say I want to move this to another workspace, workspace 2. Boom. Right? And I'm over here working on workspace 1. I'm like, okay, I'm done, and I shut down the computer. The next time I boot it up, right? If I want to open up mousepad again, I can restore that data. So that's one of the beauties of Linux, especially the desktop environments, is they usually come with a variety of workspaces, right? So I could fire up a terminal here. I could, you know, move to another workspace and fire up mousepad here, right? And I can go to this workspace and I can do Google Chrome. All right, so now I have a variety of workspaces, each with their own applications on them. And XFCE does have some hotkeys to help you navigate. Here's some keys, some shortcuts for managing your window manager or navigating your window manager. Like most Windows desktop environments, you can Alt-Tab between your windows. There we go. Move to workspace 1 through 9, right? This is okay. This is okay. What I prefer is like Super 1, Super 2, Super 3, Super 4, um, Super 5, Super 6, Super 7, Super 8, and we'll do this last one here, Super 9. Cool. So now I can go to Workspace 2, Workspace 3, right? What am I doing? Oh, no, I'm sending the application over there. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, I'm moving window to workspace. Oh, I don't want that. Let's reset that to defaults. Yes, okay. That's not what I want. What I want to do, here it is. Here it is. That's not bad. Control F1. So I can do control F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 doesn't exist. Let's go control F2. All right, this is what I want to change. And we can add a workspace with Alt Insert. So this is what I want to change here. Let's do Super 1, Super 2, Super 3, Super 4, Super 5. Yeah, we'll stop there. Let's do Super 0. Why not? Yeah, we can do Super Dash and Super equals. There we go. So now I can Super 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 doesn't exist, right? So I think it was Alt Insert creates a new workspace. No, maybe not. So let's go back here, add workspace, Alt Insert. Oh, I was using Super. For those of you who don't know, Super is just the Windows key. Most US keyboards have a Windows key right in between the left Control and Alt keys. That's what Super is. So I can Alt Insert to add a workspace. You see that pop up top here. And then I can Super 5 to go to it. I can Alt Insert, add another workspace. That's all right. That's super cool, right? So um, this currently is configured to launch with 4 workspaces. Let's see here, what other options do we have here? Windows Snap. Wrap workspaces when reaching the screen edge. Well, not a big deal. I don't really care about that right now. What I do want to show you guys though is how to This should actually stay by default. I believe this actually saves. So I've created, by default we had 4. I created 2 additional ones. But what happens if I log out here and log back in? Will it recreate 6 workspaces? Yeah, it sure does. There's 6 workspaces up there. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll here. We got Google. Goog. We got the Googler. Open up your keyring. There we go. Okay, so we got Google up here. It's snapping. It's snapping pretty to that workspace. Another thing you might want to do, since really, like, we don't really need this thing anymore. What panel preferences. Let's lock the automatically hide the panel always. Cool. There. Now the panel's gone. I mouse down there. It comes back up. Boop. Cool. Rock on. Anywho, we need to get some applications installed, yeah? So, anyways, we have Google. We have a text editor called Mousepad. I like these. Those are super handy. So, anyways, like I said, Gentoo, XFCE 4, that's what we're on right now. What other applications should we install? I already have an idea, but just to kind of demonstrate, additional software we could install. We got Mousepad, themes, several window manager themes. Let's check these out, right? So sudo emerge pv archive plugin. So that's so Thunar is the default file kilobytes. Not bad. A mount plugin, one-click mounting of devices listed. Sensor plugins, monitor hardware. Genome's menu editor works fine. So this is default, just so everybody's aware. Adept, Agua. These are kind of dated themes. Not gonna lie. That's not bad. B6. Ooh, pretty. Basics, BBS. That Beastie. Oh, you get a little BSD guy there. Blizz, Blackwall, Buzz, Cold Steel. Nice. Nice. Not bad. Cool Clean, Crux. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these. Cruxish, Curve, Deloa, Default, Defcon 4. Pick a XFCE theme here. There's a KDE one. Ooh, that's old school. Oh man, that's even older. Kindeker, Kleenex, Coco, Ouroboros, Pearl, Pills, Piranha. There are so many of these things, guys. Platinum, Quiet Purple. Yeah, yeah. I mean, one 600 kilobyte package dropped a lot of themes in here. I'm gonna stick with default for now. It's clean. It matches my GTK theme here. Adwaita Dark, I guess. So that's what we're rolling with. But just so you know, you can install some additional themes from Gentoo, Portage, just like that. Pretty simple, right? Um, what happens when we search Gentoo desktop environment? Here we go. Okay, so well, anyways, that's neither here nor there. What I definitely want to demonstrate to you guys is how easy it is to get up and running on the applications that I use day in, day out. Obviously, we got Chrome installed over here. Super easy to use. It's the Google Chrome binary shipped straight from Google. So not private, not one bit. But if that's what you use, that's what you use. If you want to compile your own open source version of Google Chrome, aka Chromium, you can totally do so. That is absolutely an option. Just a heads up, even on some of the latest and greatest hardware, that's going to take a really long time to compile. That is a massive, massive package. So other applications you might want to consider is Firefox, right? Another browser, totally an option here. EIX Firefox to inspect the Firefox binaries. So you can compile your own, or you can install the binary Firefox-bin. Let's go ahead and do that. Why not? Let's get Firefox installed in here. PV Firefox bin. It'll probably pull in some dependencies. Oops, we need the emerge command. Emerge Firefox bin. It'll probably pull in some additional dependencies that Chromium or Google Chrome didn't pull in. Oh yeah, 22 of them. Okay. So we're going to get some things like FFmpeg for parsing video. libogg is an old audio library. Let's see here. eSelect for selecting your MPEG uh, preference. Something just like a lot of audio and video stuff that Firefox is built with that Chrome is not. Um, but they shouldn't be too big of a deal. One thing you notice is we have a warning here. There are use changes necessary to proceed. Basically, Firefox PipeWire. Let me think about this for a second. So that's just for ALSA plugins. So it looks like this Firefox binary does not support PipeWire. What happens? So again, this is a binary, so we're not able to compile from source, right? But if you see here, the the actual package that we could compile does support PipeWire. Okay. So what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about is basically the abstraction layer for sound on Linux. Um, for the longest time, it was mostly ALSA, Advanced Linux Sound Architecture, which is what this binary up here is based on. Advanced Linux Sound Architecture plugins. For developers to interact with ALSA, it was still a little, I would say, inefficient. So there was an additional layer built for that called Pulse Audio, right? Long story short, ALSA basically provides applications access to the hardware. But back in the day, your applications could basically compete for access to your sound card, right? So if you were playing, a movie in one application, and then you went to go, use Discord, and Discord sound had like a notification, and it wanted to like try to notify you of something and access the sound card and go ding, that would have been an issue, right? An application, only one application could access the sound card at a time. So um, there were ways around that, but Pulse Audio, was probably the next iteration of sound abstraction on Linux. And then from there, things have gotten even better with a system called PipeWire. So that's probably the best experience, both for like users and developers, is to use PipeWire instead of Pulse Audio or ALSA directly. But as you see here, the binary package for Firefox does not actually uh, support PipeWire. It only supports Pulse Audio, the OG. So we're gonna skip this whole process because, frankly, I'm not going to wait for Firefox to finish compiling. It's pretty much just as big as Google. Maybe we'll do that in the background offline another day so I can show you guys how that works. We already got sound working on Chrome right now without installing Pulse Audio. Copy free music. You guys are proud. You guys are not. Just to demonstrate, audio is working. There you go. There you go. Audio is working on this thing. So again, we're not going to mess with that, but we got some other applications we can install, right? Let's take a look at, I mean, everybody uses Discord these days, right? There we go. There it is. Discord. Let's see what happens when we try to install this. What dependencies it brings in, what configuration changes it might need. Um, we should have called this, right? Uh, we we uh, we need to accept the license. Okay. So again, just a reminder, Gentoo doesn't accept all licenses by default. There's no like one flag to accept like a mass amount of licenses. There are some keywords you can use to accept batches of licenses or licenses categorized variously. But what I like to do is be aware, first of all, of what licenses I'm accepting. But in order to accept a license globally, you can add it to this make.config file, right? So here you can see we've already accepted a few categories signified by @ in all caps. We could also add all rights reserved in here, and this should work. This will accept all rights reserved globally across the entire uh, repository here. You can see how that works. Basically, this license thing will that'll disappear. Or you can accept them on a per package basis, right? So if I go back into here and I delete this and I try to install again, we'll get that warning. Yep, not accepted the license. I can Discord net-im Discord. I can create a file. I like naming them appropriately, and I can say all rights reserved. I think that's the right spelling. Yeah. So per package for Discord, I'm accepting all rights reserved, right? And now, we're going to try to install this. Boom. It's good to go. Okay, so that one's good to go. Another package we might want to install. Let's see here. I had a list. Maybe Telegram, right? You use Telegram? We have Telegram. Again, we have the option to install and compile it ourselves. Excuse me. And it looks like the latest stable, in other words, green version here is 6.5.1. But the binary is actually even later. It's later than that, 6.7.8 at the highest here. So with something like Telegram, I'll probably want to install the latest version. But so it's saying that I need some additional configuration changes in order to successfully compile and install Telegram desktop. Qt-base will be pulled in, which again is a graphical user interface library. Qt and GTK are the two biggest libraries for graphical interfaces on Linux. FFmpeg is going to require some additional flags, and Qt tools, right? They want to use OpenGL. which is okay. That's fine. Don't have any problem there. But just an FYI, Qt-base, it's another larger library. It'll take a while to compile. What happens if I try to install the binary? Ah, okay, so these have been masked, right? So if I go back here, you see these are marked yellow with little tildes in front of them. Basically, they're Gentoo is saying these are not stable packages. They have not been reviewed or lived long enough to be marked stable. So again, by default, it's going to warn you and it's not going to install these packages. What I can do, again, see I'm in Etsy Portage package.license. I could go out and go to package.accept keywords, right? And we already did this for Plymouth in a previous stream, but here what I can do is I can echo net-im telegram desktop bin and then say I accept AMD64 keywords. It's actually, is that the right? Yeah. Okay, so I can echo this and then I can pipe it to T with escalated privileges into Telegram desktop bin. Right now I have a new file in here called Telegram desktop bin, and if I cat Telegram desktop bin, that's what's in there, right? So now when I try to install the binary, it should accept it and tell me what additional dependencies it'll bring in. Looks like it brings in OpenGL. I don't need to do any configuration changes here. So um, so that's Discord, that's Telegram. Let's see what do we got? What other desktop tools do I use? Oh my gosh, I'll be honest, guys. I spend most of my time in terminal these days. So if I'm not in Google, I'm probably in Telegram or Discord. Let's get a third chat app in here, shall we? Why not? Let's look for Signal. Everybody likes secure private messaging, right? Signal desktop binary. This is only a binary. For some reason, it doesn't look like they have the source code. Oh, oh, this is Signal over CLI. That's interesting. That's super interesting. Oh, we might have to play with that later. I did not even realize there was a CLI. Let's let's check this out real quick. Copy link address. What does this look like? Signal CLI command line interface for Signal Messenger supports register. Anywho, we might play with that. That's super interesting. I might try that on a later date. But let's go ahead and see what happens when I try to install Signal desktop binary. Whoa, okay, so 19 new packages. Looks like most of these are relatively small. Some sound stuff, some emojis. Oh, that's a big package. No compilation. No compile. Okay. All right. Well, this is what I'll do. Let's go up here. Media package. So we're gonna set just for ALSA plugins for applications that need Pulse Audio. That's how they interact with the sound cards here. We're going to echo media plugins, ALSA plugins, Pulse Audio, pipe it to privilege T into ALSA plugins. There. Okay. So now we shouldn't get this use warning. We should be able to install Signal, the binary. Boom. Yeah, that's good to go. Okay, so Signal, Discord, and Telegram desktop binary. Now, this is going to take a minute. 22 new packages, not bad, not bad. But that'll get us set up with a bunch of chat applications. You know, you're probably hanging out on Discord, Telegram, Signal. So this will be really handy for everybody long term. Actually, I'm gonna do just one more, right? I still every once in a while use Visual Studio Code, right? I'm a builder. We write code. Uh, Not really anymore. AI writes code. I'll show you guys how to use AI in a pristine development environment here in the near future. But Visual Studio Code is usually where most developers begin, especially on Linux, MacBooks these days, even Microsoft. Anyways, let's look for Visual. I think is it Visual Studio? No. Is it? It's probably just VS Code. There it is. Yeah, multi-platform Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. Okay, so this will this is not a binary. This licenses ladies and gentlemen. You got to accept the license. Those dang end user license agreement. Okay, so for Visual Studio Code, I will accept. For app editors, VS Code, I will accept Microsoft VS Code license, pipe it to privilege T, and put it in VS Code. Let's try this again. There it is. Oh, only one dependency there. That's pretty cool. Nice, nice. All right, well let's rock and roll. Okay, so VS Code, Discord, Telegram, desktop, bin, and Signal, desktop, bin. That's 4 desktop applications, probably 23 packages in total. 24. Okay, so 24 packages. Not bad. Not bad for 4 brand new desktop applications. We'll let this run. I'll go say hi and chat. All right, party people. 24 of 24 packages installed. Discord. Install following package for additional support. Pulse Audio for sound support, or PipeWire for sound support. For VS Code, we want libnotify for desktop notifications. For Telegram, we can install enchant for spell checker support and WebKit GTK for mini app support. For Signal, we can start with start in tray or use tray icon. All right. That's some useful information here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open a new tab. You notice we have some news items that Portage wants. Boom. So let's see here. The PipeWire. This change is needed to avoid PipeWire and Pulse Audio conflicting over control of audio devices. Before this change, OpenRC users were in some cases accidentally migrated to PipeWire, which was difficult to override without manually editing launcher files. For non-audio purposes, PipeWire is installed in many configurations. As more and more software depends on it, screen sharing, sandboxing, window previews, etc. Packages needing Pulse Audio's APIs will be migrated from the now meta package, Pulse Audio, to lib pulse. Pulse Audio server can be provided either by PipeWire. Okay, so PipeWire implements the Pulse Audio server, or the original Pulse Audio daemon. The sound server uses flags for PipeWire, allow easily controlling this behavior. Cool. Place the following entries in portage package.use. Okay, so We probably want to do this because A, we don't want conflicts, and B, we definitely prefer PipeWire over PulseAudio. So we're going to take a quick look. What happens when I inspect PipeWire here? PipeWire is not installed. And if I check out PulseAudio, well, it might be a good idea to install PulseAudio. It looks like probably want to install this just to make sure sound is fully functional. So sudo merge pv PipeWire. What comes in by default here? So Bluetooth is not default. Dbus is not default, which is weird because I believe we have that in the global. FFmpeg, PipeWire ALSA, sound server. Let me check my current system setup just to make sure I know what's working. Definitely want to add dbus. Do we not have dbus by default in here? We don't. We have PipeWire, dbus, PipeWire. Well, we'll save and exit that. Let's all definitely want to enable sound server. So let's echo media video, PipeWire. Let's go ahead and install this. That'll be helpful long term for all the applications that want to either share screens or use sound. Again, a lot of this stuff comes pre-configured on Gentoo if you use a desktop profile. Just a brief reminder, we are using the base AMD 64 profile. So we'll go ahead and let this install. And then because we added dbus to the global use configuration there, we'll likely want to recompile any application that supports that use flag just so everything's good to go. So we'll let this run. All right, that was pretty easy. Not bad, not bad. Let's check. Sound is not that complicated on Linux. This is really what you're seeing here is a lot of developer updates, right? Systems migrating from one sound abstraction layer to another. Not all packages are making the pivot, but that's the world of open source. So well, I think there is no, no. Okay, all right, we should be good. So a few other things that we definitely want to install. We want notifications, right? When somebody messages us, we want to get a notification so we see that. That and enchant spell checking for Telegram might be handy. You might also interact with some mini apps in Telegram. So we're going to explore installing these two things: lib notify, enchant. Boom, 73. A lot of tiny apps. Okay. Well, um, yeah, HarfBuzz needs ICU. Okay. And GST plugins needs OpenGL. Okay, well, we might delay that. For now, remember we enabled dbus as a global use variable. So I'm just going to check and see how many packages should be recompiled now that we've enabled dbus across. Okay. All right. Well, a lot of dbus. Looks like we brought. Not bad. Not bad. We'll go ahead and kick this off. Meanwhile, we're gonna try to use some of our new applications here. So what happens when I fire up Discord? Nice. Discord firing up. It's probably gonna ask me to log in. Here it is. Sure, allow. And I can log in with a QR code. So just to demonstrate, scan this QR code from my Discord app and log in. And boom, here we are in Discord, hanging out in the Quai server. Super cool, super cool. So that's Discord. What else did we install? We installed Telegram. And Telegram here, and log into Telegram. Oh, and we're logged into Telegram. Rock and roll. All right. We also installed the Signal. I will not pull that one up, but just to demonstrate. See, Signal desktop should fire up here. There it is. And you can install and use Signal from your desktop. You notice some docked icons here, allow you to quickly access those. Excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and quit these. Yeah, yeah, I logged into Telegram. And we will fire up the last one. I think it's code. Can we just run code? There it is. Here's VS Code, ready to rock and roll. So those are the desktop apps. They're kicking butt and taking names. We are recompiling some of our packages with some new use flags here in the background. We will also, let's see here, I think, yeah, we got PipeWire ready to go in the background as well. So everything should be good across the board now for audio, across all these applications, dbus across all these applications. And we have a fully fledged desktop environment. So if I go over to here, let's fire up Discord over here. There it is. And then on workspace 3, I can fire up Telegram. And we got Telegram up and running over here. And then I can easily switch between all my applications across the board. Now, one other thing you might want to see is how do I set up this taskbar to have like my favorite applications in it, right? One thing you can do is go to the panel. You can configure the properties of this launcher, and you could probably icon here. What I can do is I can take this panel item here, and I can add Google Chrome. Boom, add, close. There it is, Google Chrome. And then I can remove that pair, right? And I could do the same for Telegram if I wanted to. Again, you just go to panel, go to add new items, create a launcher, double click, it drops down there. And then you can select the properties of this launcher and do Telegram. Just like that. Pretty simple, yeah? So now your panel's ready to go with Discord, Telegram. Boom, boom. There you go, guys. That's pretty much all the applications, I guess, graphical applications, window applications that I use on a regular basis, and I'm pretty much ready to rock and roll in this desktop and start building things out. So again, hotkeys move around your desktop environments here. We got panel set up over here. Let's check back in on our rebuild. We're at 2 of 22. Okay, I will add one additional thing that you're going to want to set. Trash applet. Eventually, what we'll want to do is add an audio applet in here so you can easily control your volume and what have you from the taskbar up there. That'll come after we kind of recompile our system here with this additional support. The PulseAudio plugin works. It'll interact with the sound cards through PipeWire's PulseAudio implementation. There we go. Control Shift N on terminal here. We'll open up a new terminal. You notice, let's do package.use. Yeah, so PipeWire here. We added sound server, but actually on the global configuration, we added PipeWire ALSA. And so that'll help PipeWire integrate with PulseAudio. So should be good to go. Once this finishes compiling, we'll get this, your ability to interact with your sound cards baked into this toolbar up here. That's always super handy, especially if you have Bluetooth headsets or devices. You can compile PipeWire with Bluetooth support, and then you'll be able to control all that from your taskbar up there. But that's pretty much it for today, folks. We're going to send it off here. We're going to open up a new tab and dive into the matrix. That's just so much fun. I love this. It's kind of lame, kind of corny, but it's actually, I think it's fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. We have a fully set up desktop environment now over here in XFCE with all the desktop applications that I use on a daily basis. If there are any other desktop applications that you guys use, let me know down in chat, down in the comments. We'll probably install those at a later time. But next time we sit down together, we'll continue to build out this desktop environment to be a complete builder's environment, right? You want to actually like build some cool things. That's why you got into Linux. So I'll show you guys how I do that in the next one. We'll also find a really cool background, something not stock here, that we can use to continue to theme our entire graphical boot process and get a really unified, beautiful experience when you're booting into your desktop, into your Gentoo desktop. So really appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Hope you had a good time. And we'll be back here real soon. So with that, guys, see y'all in the Matrix. Peace out.